What's going on, people? Today, we're going to break down Byron Allen's Breakfast Club interview. I don't really watch the Breakfast Club that much, but from what I've seen, this hands down was the best interview that's ever been on that show. And we'll give you a few reasons why. First of all, Byron Allen is a remarkable man. He is an excellent speaker, and he captivated them, as he did me and many of y'all, where they didn't clown the way they normally do. He distilled some very important lessons. He put together a pathway. He gave you a blueprint of success. And what I want to do is to go a little further with what he did and to break it down, because there's some things I think that some people missed, because it was like Byron Allen buys the Weather Channel. That's the headline. That's what everybody's looking at. But how did Byron Allen position himself to buy the Weather Channel? That's the lesson. Those are the ingredients that you need to be success. Because by the time he got in the position to buy a Weather Channel, he was already extremely wealthy. I'm going to tell you how that deal went down. But first, we're going to look back at Byron Allen's upbringing, which is very important. But before we get into that, let me go ahead and let you guys know. This live stream was brought to you by HustlersKungFuLifeSkills.com, where you can get any course on the platform for 50% off using the promo code MONEY. I suggest that you get the economic wealth development kit. That's going to help you a lot. In 30 days to 2,500. But once again, you can get anything on the platform for 30% off. So let's get back into the formative years of Byron Allen. And this is very, very important. Very important. First of all, Byron Allen's mother had him when she was 17. But if you noticed, he said, when my parents got divorced. So at some point in his life, Byron Allen had the stability of a married family. There was a marriage in there. Very, very important. Also, he said something very important about his father and his grandfather. They worked for GM 30 years, never missed a day. And, let me break that down. Let's go really far into that. When I was growing up, there was pride and ownership in any job. I don't care if you had a job sweeping the floors. You were glad to have that job, and you did it to the best of your ability. So that pride of ownership, that work ethic, was instilled in him at an early age. Grandfather went to work, never missed a day. My daddy went to work, never missed a day. He was taught by example how to work hard. This is super, super important, because this will be reflected when he started his business in 1993. But we're going to stick with the foundational training, because, for those of you who have children, I preach this. The best thing is to have a marriage. And, you make two real pill guys, leave us alone, because some of y'all are so wounded, you don't know right when you see it. But that was pivotal in his development. That was pivotal in the formation of Byron Allen. And, his mom and dad got divorced. They moved to California. And there was a point where money was tight. And there was a point where, because of lack of money, his mother may have not been able to keep him. So at a very early age, Byron Allen discovered the importance of money. He was 10 years old, went down to the supermarket, tried to get a job. They wouldn't hire him. He ran into this woman who was pushed a basket in this machine, and every time you put a basket in this machine, it gave you a stamp. And once you got enough stamps, you got food. So Byron Allen went to this supermarket looking for a job. They wouldn't give it to him because he was too young. He created his own economic agency by observing this woman, pushing a basket in the machine, getting a stamp, and he said, if I do that enough times, I can get some money. He was 10 years old. Let me tell you from a personal experience of mine. I was 14, 15 years old. I went looking for a job at Sign Builders. Walked up to this place in the hot Alabama sun. And I went in there and asked the lady, do they have any jobs? And she said no. I thanked her for her time and I left. Little did I know that the owner of Sign Builders drove by me and he asked, what's going on with that kid? Why is he out here walking in the sun? And she's like, well, he came in looking for a job. And he's at that moment decided that someone who was going to walk up there looking for a job, they created a job for me on the spot. Came back and got me in his Corvette, went back to fill out my paperwork, and I was working the next day. So this is how I know about the importance of what Byron Allen's formative years were to his later success. Because he did not just come out the box being this dude. So this is very important. At a very early age, he learned the importance of hard work and the importance of money. Very early age, he learned these two things, which later reflected in his future success. Now, here's another component to why Byron Allen was so successful. He got exposed at an early age to wealthy people. He went to the comedy club. Somebody saw him and said he's funny and told JJ from Good Times, Jimmy Walker, the guy was funny, and Jimmy Walker called him, and he, at a young age, because he had to ask his mother, could he do this? He met with Jimmy Walker, and Jimmy Walker bought jokes from him at $25 per joke. He met David Letterman and Jay Leno before they were David Letterman and Jay Leno. A lot of people don't know that Jimmy Walker, JJ, was a powerful force in his time because that was the #1 show in America. So he learned the importance of money, a hard work ethic, and he got exposure to wealthy people when he was young. I'm going to tell you another story about me. When I was a kid, my mother used to be a domestic. One of the things that she used to do was bring home all the National Geographics. So this opened up a whole new world to me. And I met wealthy people at an early age. The guy she used to work for, he was a pharmacist and he owned a pharmacy. Got to meet him, talk to him, and the exposure to wealth at an early age is so pivotal. This is why, if you're a parent, live in the best neighborhood you can so your kids can be exposed to wealth so their minds can open so they don't develop one of these limited mindsets of I can't do this because, I'm black, or I can't do this because I'm short. I can't do this because I'm a woman. When you're born in a wealthy neighborhood and you're exposed to wealthy people, it opens doors in your brain. And I went to his house and I used to do work for him, and I saw how they lived. Once again, I was a kid. I was like 12 years old, 10 to 12 years old. And I was like, I want a house like this one day. The seed was planted for the house I'm living in right now, way back when I was 10 to 12 years old. This is the importance of exposure. This is where I disagree with Killer Mike and the segregation. You need to be exposed to as many people, to as many cultures as possible, early as possible. This whole keep it black, stay away from, no. That's going to hurt you. That's going to hurt you. Because I got exposed to money, wealth, hard work ethic, just like Byron Allen did at an early age, as many Americans have who've been really successful. This was pivotal into becoming successful. So power, he learned the power of money. He knew that money was important. Like you got all these people who are minimalists because they don't want to work as hard as they need to work to have the things they want. So they adopt this minimalist van life lifestyle to live super cheap, super economical, because they don't want to power up to get the money to live how they want. They didn't get these lessons. They didn't get these lessons, these powerful lessons on being successful. He had models to emulate. Once again, all this stuff happened before he was 15, 16 years old. And one of the key components was the work ethic. And I'm going to address that later. So he's out there, he's doing stuff, he's in the comedy club. He's doing grown man money as a kid. As a kid, he's doing grown man money. So let's connect the work ethic, the value of money, and another thing that he learned at a very early age. Hard work eventually pays off. And this is something that many people miss today. They will not work hard because they don't think it's going to pay off, or they'll work hard for a week or 2 or 3. And I'm going to address that because he worked hard for 5 years. There was a 5-year period in the formation of his company. He was married. His wife didn't leave him. It's a 5-year period where his house went in and out of foreclosure for 5 years. Because Byron Allen learned the lesson that hard work eventually pays off. He learned that lesson at an early age. I learned that lesson. This is one of the reasons when I started this channel and I wrote my first book, I gave myself 2 years, not 2 weeks, not 2 months, but 2 years, because one of the lessons that Byron Allen learned at an early age is success takes time. When he was out there in the parking lot pushing those carts in that machine, he spent a lot of time doing that, but once he got 100 stamps, he got $1 of food. Back then, $1 of food went a long way. I remember going to the store where you could spend $5 or $10 and come out with 2 bags. So he, through these models and lessons, learned the value of sustained hard work. Sustained hard work. What's up, Brian Lopez? Les Duncan. I thought you would not do this. Like I was like, now damn, my boy Glenn is about to bring some heat. Trav Allen is a guy. I mean, that was one of the, hands down, one of the best interviews I've ever seen about life, about business, and about success. And he laid out the blueprint of how he did it. He laid out the blueprint for the folks who can connect the dots. What's up, Chris? T. Leo Powers, he built up his arsenal. Jabras, he's a beast. I've seen him interviewed several times. Thank you, Ben the bartender. His mom instilled proper values and work ethic. His mother, his father, and his grandfather. Another important lesson that many people may have missed is he had strong, hardworking men in his life to model and to emulate. Clearly said, my father and my grandfather worked at GMM for 30 years. Never missed a day. Notice how he said, never missed a day. How proud of that, the way he said he was proud of his people. That was a pivotal moment. What's up, Novell? Mayhew? Alexis, you're funny. Rod for real estate. He was hungry and made something happen. We have to do something about our own life, take action, and good things will happen. Absolutely. Jabras, that position yourself. I caught that. I stood out to me because I've been positioning myself, eliminating and increasing my credit scores. I know, Jabras. Alexis, that's a pivotal point. Art Arson, that was one of the best interviews ever. Eat Sense, watch it. He drops a lot of jewels. Real deal. Byron Allen said what I was talking about when you screened on me but it's all love. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, he had a role model in his mother. Once again, he had a role model in his mother, his grandfather, and his father. Once again, remember, he had many role models. It wasn't just his mom. I'm not trying to hate on single moms, but he clearly articulated that my father and grandfather worked at GM for 30 years and never missed a day. Never missed a day. Once again. LVMCD, I haven't seen that interview. I have to check it out. What's up, Patrick? Yes, I'm against buying business if you never started a business because you don't know how to run a business. Health before wealth. What are the fundamentals if you don't get it before early childhood? See, this is an important lesson. Between the ages of a few months and about 15, 16, this is when most people are formulated or programmed for life. And this is when you don't get these lessons or you don't have anyone, you don't have someone like his mother, his grandfather, his father in his life. A lot of people miss these lessons and it's just very, very hard because this is what saved me. When I was in that boarding house, I had a strong work ethic. I would say I had probably the strongest work ethic of the person in that house because I would work. I would do whatever I could to get some money because I knew the value of a dollar. And I wasn't too proud to work in the landfill, to work on a hot rooftop. I wasn't too proud. I was like, hey, man, I'm broke. I need some money. So I did what I had to do. There's a lot of people who are broke, and will not do certain jobs. They will not sell nothing on eBay. They will not sell nothing on Amazon. They won't ask all their friends, hey, give me all the stuff in your house you don't want so I can resell. They won't do that. Because they were not instilled with these valuable principles at an early age. They didn't get this. Since I think this interview somewhat showed the difference between Byron Allen, Boyce Watkins, and Claude Anderson. They preach the same, but they have different audience and plans of actions. Byron actually took action. Byron actually got into the battlefield of business. Black people are little by little coming up. Absolutely. Nathan Harris, I knew this was coming with an amazing video. I mean, it was the things that he discussed and he dropped, and I'm breaking them down for the people, are amazing. True, all of them. I was thinking of when his move to Cali and his moms went to UCLA. Another important thing that he emphasized was two critical points. Knowing what money is. He said there's plenty of money out there if you know money. And we're going to get into that in a minute. And I'm going to drop onto that because I understand exactly what he's talking about. Once you know money, you never have to worry about getting money. And we're going to talk about the 5 years that built an empire. This is super critical. If you don't get anything else from this live stream, pay attention to this. When he opened up his business from his dining room table, he had all of those lessons of work ethic and success. And he called these people so many times that they all knew who he was. And they told this guy that, oh yeah, Byron Allen calls me, we ain't gonna do business with him, blah, blah, blah. And they told the wrong guy. And the wrong guy was just like, I'm having the party. Be there. Byron didn't have no money. Byron took the bus. I'm gonna tell you another story. When I was a kid and I wanted to go downtown, we didn't have a car. I had to go on Highway 78 and flag down a Greyhound bus to get to downtown Birmingham. Then take the Birmingham City Transit to get around. That's how I used to go downtown. I had to flag down a Greyhound bus. This is something my mother did to go to work. There was a Greyhound bus that would come on Highway 78. She'd go down there, flag it down. Then she would get to the City Transit and then go to the end of the line of the City Transit. And then they would pick her up for them to come work for her. So I hopped on the bus. Byron Allen took a bus to this party. He had no money. And the dude opened up doors. Now, what opened up those doors for Byron Allen? His work ethic. He called so many of those people that they were talking about him. They were talking about him. They all knew who he was because he called so many times. That is the work ethic. That's the 5-year period that built an empire. They didn't know him because of this dude. They knew him because he called them relentlessly. He was relentless. Hey, I want to sell you this show. I'll give you this show for free. Oh, not today? Okay, you mind if I call you back in a few weeks? Click. A few weeks. Hey, it's Byron Allen again. What's going on? Yeah, I got this show that I want to sell you. So for 5 years, he was in and out of foreclosure because he knew that if he worked hard enough, it would pay off. He knew this. 5 years. And the story about on the 89th day, he would go in and pay his mortgage because this lady said, he got to know the lady at the bank. She said, don't go over here to Agnes. Just make sure you don't let it go past 89 days. So on the 89th day, he'd go in there and pay his mortgage. He learned the game. As long as I don't go beyond this point, I don't lose my house. And he kept calling and calling and calling and calling and calling. And he learned the blueprint because once he put together the first show, started selling advertising, once he perfected the model, he got the first show, he got money, money wasn't a problem. He did that 47 more times. He created 47 more shows, creating 48 streams of income. 48 streams of income. He created 48 streams of income. The first show made him a millionaire several times over. But he didn't stop with one show. So it's like, oh, okay, so 5 years doing this, finally got it worked out, got money coming in. He did it again and again and again and again and again. This is what positioned Byron Allen to buy the Weather Channel. First show made him a millionaire. So Byron Allen was already financially positioned to get a $300 million loan. He positioned himself through his hard work. He put himself together. Lamo, work and discipline, work hard and discipline works. What's up, Supreme Wise Words? Real deal. I mentioned his Supreme Court case and racism is in business. I'm going to say this. When you get to that kind of level with FCC licensing and stuff, that's a deal. But you can become a millionaire right now by working your ass off, and racism, like, miss me with the racism talk. That's at the FCC level. That's at the big boy business level. You can become a millionaire. You can change the dynamics of your family financial DNA by working hard and saying, fuck racism. Because, you know, that didn't stop Byron Allen. They racist. He's still sitting at the table. They racist. He's still sitting at the table. They racist. He still became a multimillionaire. Now ultimately a billionaire. They racist. It didn't stop Byron Allen. So don't let it stop you. Miss me with that bullshit. Well, racism. Take action. Learn from Byron. Because Byron's fighting it. But it didn't stop him. He became a billionaire despite racism. Despite it. So man the fuck up and stop coming to me with this racism bullshit. Because I guarantee you that if I was to look at your calendar and I was to look at your hours, you ain't working as hard as you could. You're not pushing baskets into a machine and getting stamps. So miss me with that. Corey Johnson. I remember one interview where Byron Allen said, I'm a great black shark. I was like, hell yeah. I don't know anything about Ben Horowitz. Patrick, best interview I saw on the platform. Real deal. I did the same thing with record companies. I called them until they knew who I was and got my foot in the door, plus the talent and good weed, Lord. Thank you, Ben. Yep, 90 days late on your mortgage puts you in a very bad position. Rod for real estate. I know we don't really do the race thing here, but Byron is unapologetic in his blackness. I respect him that to the fullest. Once again, Byron Allen is fighting racism, but he became a billionaire in spite of racism. He didn't let it stop him. He's fighting it. He acknowledged it. He's fighting it at the highest level, but he didn't let it stop him. What's up, Crep Junkie TV? DC Appliance Repair. What's up, Glenn? Been here since Storage Shark. Now I have an appliance business. Congratulations. Yep, racism doesn't stop you, but keep an eye on her. Once again, here's another little story. When I was in the office furniture business, I went into a sales meeting, and Ken Scott was saying that Jim was an owner because he had a bunch of Mexicans working on his pool that weekend. And I walked in and everybody got quiet. There was a racist moment. And I got mad. But I'm like, okay, let's do the math here. I make more money than I've ever made in any job here. They don't put their hands on me. They don't mistreat me. They don't talk bad to me. So I'm going to let this one racist moment fuck up my money. So I sat down and formulated a plan on how to get out of there. I got out of there. I took some clients with me, and my income has never dropped really below what I was making there. You know, I had that 1 year where I only made 35,000 after doing 1.5 million in contracts and stuff because I had screwed up so bad. And that was been the worst year ever since then. So I didn't let racism stop me. I ran over racism. I suggest you do the same. EJI, what's up, Rob, for real estate? I'm slaying dragons and racisms. Johnny Walton, you didn't use the keep it real moment. No, I didn't. I mean, it would have been pointless. And see, this is something else too. Byron Allen learned how to play the game. He learned how to play the game. He didn't go in there screaming and whining. He said, oh, I'm going to take you to court. You know, in the story, they told him why I took him to court because the HBUs were trying to get a show, and they said no. And that's the reason they took him to court. Because, once again, once you get into the money game, once you understand money, once you understand how money is formulated, because that once you understand money, because that talk he gave about money, and there's like $22 trillion of money out there if you know how to access it. And let's go ahead and go back to after those 5 hard years where his house was in and out of foreclosure, he figured out a system. And I'm going to give you another system. When eBay locked up our accounts, I went to Craigslist and I figured out a system. And I was able to duplicate that on the business side and the personal side. Because once you figure out a system that gets money, it's very easy to replicate that. And he replicated that 47 more times. 47 more times. Then he got into other stuff. Then he got into buying businesses because he had the money. He's like, hey, I'm going to buy this distribution network. Oh, it's 10 million. Here's a check. Byron Allen positioned himself for success. What's up, Cornelius? What's up, Mag2817? CD, that's a bad takeaway. He frankly got lucky. Once again, look, all you folks who say people got lucky, you've never worked your ass off. Byron Allen did not get lucky. If Byron Allen hadn't called him so many times they all knew who he was telling this guy this guy never would have stepped up. Byron Allen opened that door on his own. Luck is for suckers and little sad little bitches. He didn't get lucky. You right now, you're telling me that you never worked your ass off. You've never worked as hard as you possibly could on something. Because luck is for suckers. Byron Allen didn't get lucky. That's what people want to say with my court case. I got dismissed. You got lucky. No, I've been to court 23 times. I skilled myself up. Byron Allen opened up his door. Once again, I'm sitting here trying to tell you how success is, and you want to fall down on your lazy ass and your lazy ambition and like he got lucky. Is luck making phone calls for 5 years? That ain't luck. That's talent, boy. Respect the talent. Stop hoping to get lucky. You just told me you want to get lucky. You don't know anything about hard work, and I'm trying to tell you, hard work pays off, not luck. Stop saying stuff. Bring up your intellect and stop having this low ambition. Because he's like, well, Byron Allen opened that door on his own because he kept calling them and calling them and calling them. That shit gets on my nerves. You don't want to work hard. Like, you sound like the fool that told me I got lucky getting my child support case dismissed. I ain't get lucky. I knew the system. I knew how the system worked. It's called talent. Ish Ben Israel. Yep, the law of hard work is in effect just like gravity. I sent in some stone. If you do the work, you'll always have money. Each sense. Too many black individuals don't want to admit that even in the face of racism, you can still be successful and dominate. Look at the Dark Prince of Wall Street, or A.G. Gaston. A.G. Gaston became a millionaire several times over during Jim Crow and racism. AKW Beats, I would say that's the most respectful I've seen them because they didn't clown like they normally clown. It's not about stopping you. Why do people say that? That's not the point. Hell, being 4'8" doesn't stop you, but damn sure creates problems. There's dudes 5'3" dating beautiful women because they refuse to let their height stop them. Remember the guy who, I forget his name, he played for the Hawks. He was 5'3" point guard. Alexis Byron said he took his knee pads off a long time. I threw up my hands at the 4:30 a.m. Crunk. Rockstone, he became a millionaire because of racism. He became a billionaire because of racism. The obstacle is the way they accepted him in the fold. He would have accepted a few hundred million. I would disagree with that because he had already got to hundreds of millions of dollars with the 40, before the Weather Channel. That's why he was in a position to buy the Weather Channel. They gave him a term sheet and an agreement after a 4-hour meeting because he had the financials. It's like, without the income from the Weather Channel even being factored into the deal. DJ Slink, you must create your own luck. God is no luck is when preparation meets opportunity. I know Rod for real estate. Real deal, hell no, he wasn't lucky. AKW Beats, Byron Allen is the boss. He worked super hard and had great timing. Cornelius, Byron Allen simply wouldn't take no for an answer. Byron Allen rose to the challenge, no luck involved. You have to work hard enough to fall asleep in your clothes. I've done that. It was a great interview, AKW Beats. It is talent. Real deal. He wasn't lucky to meet the guy because he called him so many times. Everybody was talking about him. The guy was like, I want to meet this guy. No luck involved. Luck is for suckers. Once again, as someone who's worked so hard that I've fallen asleep in my clothes, I know the power of hard work, showing up on time, and being and delivering. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. He didn't get lucky. He called him so many times that they told this dude, and the dude's like, I want to meet this guy. He created his own doorway by working hard. There ain't no luck. I hate when people say, like, man, like one of my friends, he saw one of the chicks I was dealing with. He's like, you got lucky to get her. I'm like, no, man, it's talent. Talent. Who gets lucky enough to buy a television station? Exactly. There ain't no luck. Alexis, people don't understand the esoteric aspects either. There's magic to this. We have to work on mastery of the aspects. Chess, not checkers. I'm glad you said that because I talk about the metaphysical and the esoteric. When you work that hard, you move invisible forces. Dude became a billionaire, and he was a comedian on America's that show. He became a billionaire. All the forces of heaven and earth moved in his favor because he worked. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. You ain't going to get lucky. It ain't going to just happen. You got to work. CD, thanks for the $5 super chat. Read the rest of the comment. I know Byron, I'm personally, I'm in the Ivy League top 1%. This is something else he actually really hummed on. Education. Now, Byron Allen had an education in business that started with J.J. Walker. It started with J.J. Spud Webb, thank you, Rod, for real estate. Muggsy Bowles. LMA 453, research that on Google and make your moves, player. Bruh, kiss my ass with this luck shit. Byron Allen did not say he got lucky in that interview. I did not hear him say he got lucky. You just want to keep up with these low expectations of yourself. Don't push them off on me and other people. Because, see, the fact that you want to argue me about he got lucky, you missed the whole point of this live stream. From the formative years of having role models and example, which gave him the work ethic. If he did not call them as many times as they did, they wouldn't have been telling this dude. They ain't luck. Ben the bartender, he did not say that. Crypto Black, Crypto Crack, my dude Byron is a phenomenal salesman, point blank. And also with this dude, his pitch was so good, dude gave him his daddy's tie. That's called respect. They ain't luck. Once again. Been the opportunity, been the bartender. If he was just some fool off the street, would he have the opportunity? Absolutely not. Morning Blue, yep, you have to put yourself in the way of success. You don't do that with 5 calls a day, but you can do it with 500 calls a day. Real deal. I know in my life it was something unseen that helped me. It wasn't all me. I have stories you wouldn't believe. When you believe in yourself and have a dominant king mentality, there's no such thing as luck. He leveled up on solid foundation, vertically, not horizontally. Mental chess at its finest. D of J, thank you. Anyone who's saying that he got lucky, because when I did my Disruptive Mail channel and dudes was like, well, you went to court, you got lucky, or the time when I got attacked by a woman, I called the police believed me, she would have got arrested. People said that was luck. It was called knowing how to talk to cops, not becoming an emotional little bitch, like, oh. Once again, when you have the dominant, and Byron Allen's got the dominant mentality. He's got a dominant male mentality. During this 5-year period when his house was going in and out of foreclosure, he was married. He's still married. You don't hear shit about his wife. That's a dominant male right there. Highly favored. No, he sacrificed and worked hard. Marvin's marketing madness. Plus, once he told the guy that the investment would throw off so much cash, there's no choice but to give him the loan. He knew his numbers, talent. He knew money. He knew how the game worked. He didn't even have to put up any of his own money. $300, like, well, here's a letter of commitment, and we're going to give you a term sheet. After a 4-hour meeting. There are people who work on $300 million years all year long and don't get them. That's called talent. Recognize the man for his talent. Stop saying he got lucky. Luck is for suckers. I got lucky because I happened to be in the storage auction business. I got lucky because I wrote a book 14 months before the storage auction shows came on, and the storage auction shows acted as that was I got lucky. No, I took action. I was in the business for many years. I wrote a book, and then bam, this window of opportunity opened up because I took action. Luck doesn't sit down and write a 225-page book. Luck doesn't do that. Hard work, discipline, commitment, and talent. And I'm screaming this because anybody that wants to say Byron Allen got lucky to become a billionaire, you don't become a billionaire off luck. That's stupid. You don't become a billionaire because there's only 2,600 of them in the world. There's a reason. Morning Blue, he got lucky. People trying to explain their own mediocre results. Amen, 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 amen. Ben, I know. That's boss moves. Gotta respect that. He said he burned his knee pads. Cleveland Smith, persistence and hard work. Those 5 years of being on the phone and they just clowning him. Josco, you don't luck into millions, billions, or any sort of financial solvency or security. They ain't low luck. Once again, that's what I'm saying. After Breakfast Club interview with Byron Allen is the man. Respect, respect. Reigning woman, all the success that I have experienced was because of hard work and positioning myself. Any success that I haven't experienced is due to the lack of hard work and positioning myself. Hashtag real talk. Miss Monica, same story as Pursuit of Happiness, Chris Gardner. Absolutely. 89 Dr. Funk, Reginald Lewis was the first black billionaire businessman. I listened to this audiobook and it was very inspiring how he brokered deals for preparation with dominant male mentality dealing with white men. Notice how he named that book, Why Should All the White Guys Have All the Fun? Dominant Male. Now, Dr. Funk, there's no luck, it's just preparation. I don't know if he played sports. Mr. Lewis had the first black-owned company gross $1 billion. DFC. Uncle G, the problem is at hand that you have all of these weak links that are scared and low T count lames. They're checker players and understand chess is a king's game per dominant men. Ooh. Rain and absolutely the only currency I deal in. Johnny Walker, I might be wrong, but don't hate the player, hate the game. Morning Blue, what people don't talk about is the mindset to stay on the phone for 5 years, uncommon persistence. And that's what stood out at me, because that 5-year period is what built everything that came after, because he stuck with it, because he learned these early lessons that eventually hard work pays off. He learned that lesson. And many folks today just don't get that lesson. Your enemies will be your footstools. Hard work and patience is what pays off. He went against all the odds and won. People hate him, but Mayweather said it's best hard work dedication. Rod Smith, same people saying he got lucky are the ones who are afraid to hear no. Absolutely. I mean, once again, because as someone who used to have to work the phones, 5 years on the phone, calling, going through this foreclosed house in and out of mortgage foreclosure, and he stuck with it. And the talk about money, when I love that talk about money, he says $22 trillion out there in liquidity that if you know how to access it. And he built his company with these 48 shows, bringing in millions of dollars per day. Let me tell you something. I was up for a reality show, and I had this producer break it down for me. One of the reasons that networks love reality shows was they could put up these really cheap shows, but still sell at the high ad rate. That's why they love them, because they were cash cows. Like a show like what's that show with the doctors saying that's like a medical show could easily cost you $20 to $25 million per episode. You could shoot 10 to 30 reality shows for what it cost you for one episode. I'm talking about a full season. This is why you see reality television everywhere, because they're bringing on these people, the producers will gas them up, and they get the same ad rate. So these shows, like, it cost them like maybe $300,000 to produce a show, and they run ads against that show, and they make 5 or 6 million per episode. Once again, just like wholesaling a distressed property, they're wholesaling television shows, and this is what Byron Allen understood. He put these shows together. Because there's an audience for anything. And he made millions of dollars per day before the Weather Channel. And that's why he was positioned to buy the Weather Channel so easily. 4-hour meeting on a $300 million deal? If you know money and you know how money deals are put together, that's crazy. That meant that Byron Allen was overqualified several times over for that kind of loan. His ass didn't want to be homeless. He never had. Morning Blue calling the same people too. That takes grit. Maurice Anderson, luck is buying a scratch off at the gas station and winning $500. I would agree with that. What's up, Super One? Marvin's Marketing Madness. People also have to understand he does not have to give us this information. He's rich already. He's doing this because he's seen there is no economic inclusion. At that high level, there's a problem. There is a problem at that level. But on a smaller business level, you could, like, once again, like Byron Allen. He became a multimillionaire before the Weather Channel. Real deal. His interviewing and knowing a lot of dumbasses who have money invigorated my hunger to conquer fools again. Each since 5 years on the phone is definitely not luck. I used to be a professional fundraiser for 4 years part-time. Making calls is definitely not easy to do. It took me about 6 weeks to stop being a scared little bitch, because I was afraid of the rejection. I mean, the rejection was hard, and you just dive into it. And one of the things I did was I got myself a headset. I got them to get me where I can make calls like really quick. so I could push through the rejection. Stefano, if you was given 17,000 to make as much money as you can in 17 days, how much money would you have? Stefano, I don't need $17,000 to make money. How about those apples? Once again, you don't need money to make money if you know how to sell. You can start with $0 and make $50,000 in a month. Lesson, message. Ben the bartender, we can't use the white man as an excuse anymore. Jimmo, that's what you call success. Pretty much. Marcus Colston by saying 300 million is not a lot of money. Money is easy. Money's looking for you. Gave me a huge insight of how we should be thinking. Exactly. That was a very critical and important talk, because when he said there's $22 trillion of money out there and these guys have to do something with the money. They're looking for deals. Miss Monica, check out MLK's speech to Other America. And that's the speech that got him killed. I loved his conversation with Coretta Scott, because I have a friend and we talked about this. What got Dr. Martin Luther King killed wasn't "I Have a Dream" speech. It's when he started talking about the money. That's what created the problem. I know, man. Black Caesar. That video's getting a lot of love. Maul was saying no more than yes taught me to care about rejection, not to care about rejection. Marvin's Market, the way he sold his advertising minutes was genius. Absolutely. Because, one of the reasons I wanted to do this live stream was to break it down, was to look at, to give you guys something to think about. Because I've been talking about hard work. A lot of people are like, I ain't trying to hear that, Glendon. And this is just an example of what sustained hard work will do for you. You can become a millionaire in 5 years if you, one, pick the right vehicle. Jimmy Timo, that's true. If you know how to sell a product and have talent, you don't need any money. Some have tons of money and make bad business deals. MLK was killed because he knew he could reach the presidency. So once again, and this is my story. This is why the Byron Aaron interview resonated so deeply with me, because I got to where I am because of hard work. The Craigslist marketing system, I worked on that like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning every day until it started working. So for me, I have evidence that hard work pays off. I've had many results from hard work. So in my mind, if I work hard, if I be sustained, I will be successful. But many of you don't have that framework of working hard and getting results because you have these ridiculously short timelines. Because once again, and I got people in here arguing with me. You can't argue with my results. I wrote a book and used YouTube to market my book and became a millionaire from a book. There are so many things you can sell. There's so many things. And Byron Allen, he got in the right industry. Because, during my short period of time with these TV producers and stuff, they opened up my eyes to the power of media. They promote the "I Have a Dream" down so you don't even study, listen to the other speech. The Other America. He was talking about the money. And this is what I have been talking about for 10 years. Make more money. Real deal. His mother also helped him. His mother, his father, his grandfather. He mentioned all of those people. Thank you, Alexis. That was fun. Ben the bartender, his last speech was the most telling. Absolutely. He was talking about the money. Because, see, once again, H.G. Gaston became a millionaire in racist ass Birmingham, Alabama. So, what's the disconnect here? And this is what I'm trying to do is connect the dots. You got to work hard. You got to stop letting all these real housewives of Atlanta hookups, be all up in your brain. Real deal. I think it's just people have not been schooled in the principles of success. And that's what I'm trying to do with this live stream because Byron Allen exemplifies, I went through the formative years, I went through the 5 years, I went through understanding money. Because when he made that call, he knew that guy had the money and he knew that guy had to do something with the money. I want you to think of the mindset that Byron Allen had. Like, this guy's got, $300 million. He need to do something with that money. I got something that he can take. He made that call. He made an informed call. It was like, hey, G, look, I got this thing that can help you with your funding problem. Yeah. Send one of your guys. Send a guy to him. They talked. Because first of all, they already knew that Byron was making millions of dollars per day. Millions of dollars per day. That's talent. They ain't luck. So he wanted to buy this other asset that made millions of dollars. It was like, well, sure, Mr. Allen, here's your money. It was a win-win deal. It was a no-brainer. And this is how and I think during those 5 years, Byron Allen learned how to set up deals. Like, all right, there's a house out here that's worth $250,000, but you can get it for $50,000. Are you gonna buy it? You would break your ass trying to buy that house. Hell yeah, $200,000 in equity, because it's a deal. MLK was the most talented person in history, and his goal was for everyone to be successful. Hard work pays off. Anything you do. If you can't walk, then crawl. By all means, keep moving. Absolutely. Now, each sense, this is a reality. Your hard work must be focused in a profitable endeavor. So I will agree with you because, working in a coal mine is hard. Most poor people work extremely hard from a physical standpoint. Waitresses, servers, house cleaners, daycare workers, the people who take care of the elderly, they're lifting up these old people and changing their diapers and stuff. That's hard work. It's filthy. I don't work that hard. I work hard with my mind. Because I'm getting ready to start a new channel y'all gonna love. I know friends who started cleaning floors and now they're owners because they believe in them, never stop moving. Even if you don't become a multimillionaire, you can do better with your life. Absolutely. The crystals, I get you now. Cool. You say you open up your... Man, the TV people is one of the reasons that I stuck with YouTube, because at one point I was going to quit. And once I saw the power of media, and media is very profitable, and many YouTubers are now coming around to my way of thinking, because from this channel makes more money than channels that have 10 and 15 million subscribers. It makes more money because I sell a product. I know Daryl Eves, we talk, and I said the best way to make money on YouTube is to sell something. He said 100%. So a lot of YouTubers are coming around to my way of thinking, because if you got 22 million subscribers as a YouTuber, you have more subscribers than most cable channels. A lot of these cable channels only have 1, 2, or 3 million subscribers. And they're making millions because they're selling advertising. Highly favored. I'm a licensed home care day provider. I made $107,000 last year. Congratulations. You are an owner. You're not a worker. You're an owner. And once again, like with the pie distribution, the owner cuts out a quarter of the pie to pay salaries and they keep 75%. You're an owner. Erica Weir, yeah, these folks are getting on my last nerves, so I'm just going to add some old videos and go on vacation. Once you understand, because one of the things, because even though I didn't get my own reality show, the lessons I learned dealing with the production company were priceless. Because, once you understand media, and this is why everybody in Hollywood is like kind of crazy, because all it takes is one hit show to make your wildest dreams. Like Shonda Rhimes, she's got 3 or 4 hit shows. Grey's Anatomy, that's the show I was talking about. That show, because all their actors' salaries are in the millions of dollars, it's like $25-30 million to do one episode. What they were doing with reality TV was taking that same one episode budget and breaking it up over 20-30 shows for a year and getting the same ad rates. I mean, it was crazy money that these guys were making. BK from the Rockies. YouTube's so powerful that mainstream media is definitely invading it. Just look at the equipment, marketing, and production of some of these channels out. Absolutely. Some of these YouTubers who have the 20, the 15, 22 million subscribers, they're bigger than a lot of cable stations that make millions of dollars. And they're beginning to understand that they need to take control of their money. Maurice Robinson, most people don't want to work because they may benefit. That hard work could take 20 or 30 years to compete. Absolutely. All right, Alexis. So once again, the whole thing, and I will urge everyone to sit down and spend the hour and a half to watch it and then watch it again and take notes, because he breaks down so much in this one interview, because the whole talk about money, this is what Erica talks about, funding. If you position yourself for success, and this is one of the reasons that a lot of black people don't have any money, is because your parents didn't position you to be successful. They didn't position you to have any money. I mean, it's a cold, hard fact. They, and with tribalism, this was good enough for my grandparents. This is good enough for me. So this beat the ambition out of a lot of ambitious people. Reality shows are so notorious, but the only folks earning for real are the Kardashians. Yeah, because essentially a lot of these reality shows, sometimes like the Jersey Shore, those guys only got like $800 for the show, their first season. And then when they understood how much money that the production company was making off of them from ad revenue, they were like, hey, we need $25,000 an episode. And typically what they would do is they would all get together and say, we're going to walk unless you pay us. And they needed them, because even paying them $25,000 an episode, let's say there's 5 of them, that's $150,000. So your production cost just went up $150, but you're still making $5 million an episode. You're still making cake. Byron had the late night TV shows on lock. Those infomercials pay money. Absolutely. And then Dr. Funk, man, I never understood why movie stars were going on TV series, and I too said he makes $240K every 2 weeks on that CS file. Hey. And also, you got to understand the big screen versus the small screen. The big screen movies, you can only do so much. A small screen, like Ice-T has been working, 15 years on that show? That's a steady paycheck. And the show is in syndication, so he's getting that syndication money. I mean, once again, just hanging with these production dudes opened up my eyes to the power of media. The six-pack dude made $45 million off Jersey Shore in advertising, now broke. That's true. Blacks and Latinos are not set up to make money. That's why you need to change that and have future generations and show them we can be better than we can. Some people are missing the building and maintaining money. It's like playing a game of generational chess. Past generation made moves to set up future generations. And that's the whole deal. This is why I keep talking about, if you have children, you shouldn't be looking for the cheapest apartment or the cheapest neighborhood. You should be looking for the wealthiest neighborhood you can get yourself into, so your kids are exposed to these things early. I can't tell you what, going down, and the guy my mom used to work for, he had this passion for model trains. His whole basement was full of model trains. So this guy had created enough wealth for him to indulge in this ridiculously expensive, go on eBay and look up the prices of these model trains. And it was really eye-opening, because it's like this dude had created his own environment. He could do what he wanted to do, how he wanted to do it. If you get on a national commercial, that's $50,000. That's a year's salary. Flow from Progressive. Made $50,000 on first of the commercial, then millions. TV, man. Pondra, good book for all those ladies who give up before trying racism. The Black Man's Guide Out of Poverty. Yes, white man wrote it, but still the truth. Rod for Real Estate. Yes, SUV is in its 21st season. I knew it was a long time. Good Lord. The syndicate, because see, 21 seasons is still rolling, and then they have these shows that are going. Because see, once, like the producer broke it down to me, he's like, these channels that rerun these shows over and over again, they get to sell ads against those shows. So it doesn't matter. Like, one of the things that this guy broke to me, because he showed me this old movie that was made in the 60s. And he said this movie has made $400 million. And it's still making money. And this is the power of media. And, it's just amazing what you can do once you understand that. Ron the Stalker, like you said before, your parents choose your neighborhood. His mom had him on the Universal lot working for free while Byron was watching Johnny and Stanford Son live. That was dope. That exposure, because he even said, I want to do this. Work and make people laugh and people happy and get paid for it. Exposure. For some of you, I'm like the dad or the mom you never had, because I'm exposing you to all kinds of concepts. I know I've helped thousands of people get their economic lives together, and I'm very grateful for that. Once again, I mean, hands down, the best interview I've ever seen on The Breakfast Club. And I've seen a few, because his ability to stay on point and to keep them on point. And, November 13th, when this lawsuit goes off, it's going to be very interesting, because the point he made about the Trump Department of Justice weighing in on Comcast's side, that was deep. Department of Justice is supposed to work for us, not a corporation. Hello, for all you Trump people, you Trump supporters. I mean, it is crazy. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. So what I want you guys to do to begin your economic legacies is go to Hustlers Kung Fu University. And I want you to get the money management as the basis of finance and wealth development, because that's going to put you in the position to maximize your money. Because one thing that Byron Allen learned was how to maximize his money. With those 5 years when he was going to foreclosure, he was building the asset that would later on provide him millions of dollars. So go ahead and get this in 30 days to 2,500. And I will see you guys later.